Compared to the course of the long, injurious season that preceded it, the Celtics Game 7 loss to Cleveland happened in a relative split second. "It's humbling to get to a certain point and then lose," said Jaylen Brown. "It makes you want to get better and it makes me realize how much better I need to get, so it's encouraging really. There's always dual perspectives to look at stuff. This summer I'm looking forward to coming back twice as good." From Terry Rozier's battle with consistency and Marcus Smart's search for respect in the form of a worthy contract to the return of Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward from season-ending injuries, Brown's comment applies to everyone on this overachieving roster. "And there's no way around this. By reaching the conference finals, this patchwork Celtics team accomplished more than anyone had a right to expect after Hayward went down for good on opening night. What follows are the final grades for an exceptional season, with players evaluated based on how they performed against expectations. Aaron Baines, B+'s value truly came into focus during the playoffs, and will serve him well heading into unrestricted free agency. The Celtics may have a challenge re-signing their only true rim protector, one who has a nicely developing corner three. Brad Stevens' best move of the Cleveland series was starting and increasing the role of Baines. There really are times when you still have to play big in this league, and he has the strength and vertical defensive presence that's necessary against those teams. Midterm grade, C. Jaylen Brown, BH. He had some tremendous peaks in the playoffs, putting up a scoring sequence of 2-0, 3-0, 1-1, 3-4 over the first 4 games of the Milwaukee series, and coming back with 423-plus performances from Game 5 against Philadelphia through Game 4 against Cleveland. When the Celtics started well, it was generally because of his scoring. And when they crashed in Game 7, Brown couldn't convert. An improved defender who needs more work in that department, especially considering all of the talk about Brown's emerging stopper role. His three-pointer bloomed in the playoffs at a 39.3% clip. If that continues to develop, then the Celtics have an explosive long-term counterpart to Jason Tatum. Not a surprise that these two youngsters were the team's leading scorers in the playoffs. Midterm grade, B. Al Horford, B+. Just as Isaiah Thomas wouldn't have had his breakout season in 2016-17 without Horford's playmaking and spacing, this year's team, minus Irving and Hayward, would not have reached the conference finals, let alone pushed Cleveland to 7 games, without him. The series went downhill when Cleveland was able to double and bottle up Horford in Game 6. He's the best playmaker on this team short of its 2 injured stars, and when the Celtics were at their best, he was the distributor and quarterback on defense. He'll be polarizing as long as he plays here for those who expect big scoring numbers out of a max contract player. But as much as anyone and maybe more, he held this team together once the injuries hit critical mass. Midterm grade, C. Kyrie Irving. What the Celtics lacked in the playoffs is exactly what Irving gave them as one of the NBA's premier finishers. They needed another gear-up from Tatum and Brown, with Irving the Celtics' version of overdrive. His return to a fully healthy team will be a sight to behold. Midterm grade, Shane Larkin, B-. Minutes before a strained shoulder sidelined him for good in the second round, Larkin was giving Brad Stevens exactly what he needed, pace and ball pressure. But offensively Larkin started to fire blanks, as evidenced by that three-point percentage. Midterm grade, BGREG Monroe. Cheese post-game came in handy on a few occasions, but he had a tough time getting into the flow in a reduced role. Marcus Morris, B+. So sometimes it takes 5 or 6 attempts to get this streak shooter on track. But his defense on LeBron James, contrary to the latter's numbers, was as good as the Celtics could have hoped for. Combined with his shooting, which generally swished at the right times, Morris was one of the most important two-way Celtics in the playoffs. Midterm grade, B. Minus Abdel-Nader, B. made brief appearances in the playoffs. Showed himself to be a versatile wing with a promising three during the regular season. Midterm grade, BSEMI Ojale, B. Minish's ability to cover just about anyone thanks to his uncommon lateral speed was spotlighted against Milwaukee's Giannis Antetokounmpo in the first round, and the rookie also played a role in the rotation on LeBron James. Also struggled in the other aspect of his 3-and-D job title. Midterm grade, Terry Rozier, BTHE parting image for most is of Rozier, ultimately 0 for 10 from three-point range, launching from downtown in a failed attempt to get hot as the Celtics sank in their Game 7 loss to Cleveland. He has the same confidence in his shot, miss or make, and that short memory is vital in a lead scoring guard, though his late-game shot selection helped grease the decline. Rozier's road performances during the playoffs also fell short of his home performances, at least until his 6-straight, 28-point performance in Cleveland in Game 6. Rozier has proven he's an above-average starting point guard who doesn't turn the ball over. With Irving returning for a contract year, he has an option in 2019-20. Rozier's trade value is at a peak. He says he'll accept a return to the bench, but's hard to see him remaining happy there. Midterm grade SEM-ARC US Smart, AA sore thumb didn't stop him from shooting, and down the stretch of Game 7 of the conference finals that was a problem. But his return from thumb surgery changed this team in the first round against Milwaukee, and Smart's floor-denting, sweet-and-sour style pushed this team from there. If he is indeed the new Tony Allen, and there's no reason to doubt he isn't, the Celtics can't afford to not get business done with Smart this summer when he becomes a restricted free agent. Of course, all it takes is one team with a wild offer, and that could create a real problem here. Midterm grade, CJAYSON Tatum, AAHE was one of the NBA's most entertaining shot makers in the playoffs, and the rookie has made Danny Ainge look very smart. Scored 20+ 10 out of 19 times, and in the absence of Irving and Hayward, was the Celtics' best scoring option. Stardom may already be here. Midterm grade, BDANIEL face, one of the biggest surprises of the season is under contract for one more season. No reason that his defensive versatility and knock for catching the ball at the rim won't have a regular rotational role again next season. Midterm grade, BGUERSCHONYABUSELE, Clyke Nader, played a minimal role in the postseason. Strong, with a surprisingly nimble offensive game for his bulk, including the beginnings of an NBA-level three-pointer. Midterm grade, C coaching, B+. Continued amazement is that Stevens didn't get a vote from his peers for the Coaches Association Coach of the Year award. He's a master of patching together winning lineups at this point. No one outside the Celtics locker room, local media included, saw this team reaching the conference finals once Irving went down for good. The only blemish came at the very end, with the Celtics missing 11 of their last 12 shots in Game 7 against Cleveland, and Stevens unable to alter the slide by getting the ball to his best scorer, Tatum. He usually finds a way to succeed in those situations. Midterm grade, AMANAGEMENT every signing and transaction was a win, from the trade for Irving and the Hayward signing to finding a valuable second-round pick in Ojale. The free agency signings of Baines, Face and Larkin all produced solid rotation players. And above all, Tatum was indeed the best player in the 2017 draft, just as Danny Ainge believed from the start. swapping places with Philadelphia in the draft, and still scoring Tatum as well as next year's lightly protected Sacramento pick is regarded in Philly as grand larceny, an Auerbach-ian achievement. Midterm grade, incomplete.